I look so shiny. I literally
Shining, girl.
Crazy.
Shining.
Yeah. Hi guys.
All right. We're on the lookout, guys. We are on the lookout.
Oh my god, my mom is on. I can see her and she actually turned her video on. Wow.
Hi.
Shout out.
What are we on the lookout for, Chad?
We're on the lookout for any weird
Zoom bombing.
Yeah.
what?
Mom, make sure you hide
Porn
the phone from
posted.
Dad if anything.
We don't want to see any of that nonsense from
Yeah.
last week, guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember last week? We couldn't even put it up on YouTube. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Joe B humping bunnies. Joe B, you and my dad, of course. Italian stallions talking the same way.
Joe, it was so freaking funny because literally, like, you're like, oh no, I gotta go pee real quick, and then I'm like, but Joe, we could see you, and then all of a sudden,
All Joe could hear was
Yeah.
like crazy music and paranoid, and you know.
there's some good times.
Yeah, it was good though.
Like
We all like had a good laugh.
I
and a
just
good
want,
right
I just want to
smile.
be clear. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, put up regular stuff if you're gonna put up regular stuff. Like, if you're gonna put up porn, put up like regular porn. That's not gonna be offensive. Huh?
That's probably definitely
Jose, you could hit me up
For
on
sure.
on my TikTok. Just
that's
send me a
probably
message.
a bad one.
I feel like
I don't know though.
we're gonna like remove people that we think might be the culprits
Or not real.
or not real.
So if we do,
I'm sorry, guys. Like, it just wasn't regular porn to me. So it was, Amy, Chad, guys. It was
Was it super dirty?
it was gross.
Was it grimy?
Yeah, and you know what? My wife was on, and she freaking shot it on her phone and sent it to me. And I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
basically trying to say,
like-
what kind of meeting are you guys putting on? This is recovery? This is what recovery looks like?
Yeah.
What? But we had a
Oh.
good time.
Yes, you can still download TikTok. It's all good. It was like less than 24 hours. Don't even trip.
Like if you literally just fell asleep, you missed the whole TikTok shebang.
Yeah.
You're fine.
For sure.
I mean, my daughter, my 16-year-old fully went through withdrawals, though, for that. Like,
Oh, I thought I
Isn't that
saw
crazy?
yeah.
Oh, it's
That's
terrible.
what day and age we're in.
She was like, I don't know how I'm going to live.
Which is so
I mean, I'm
wild.
not-
I saw breakdowns.
I'm not
on
gonna
it.
lie. It made me feel a way of sorts.
I mean,
A little bit of withdrawal.
guys, we got Pej in the house, and he is actually a TikToker. So I would have, if I had Pej's following on TikTok, I would have been like, this sucks.
I instantly thought, how do we do this on Instagram now? Like, I've been trying with Instagram. I
Yeah.
get flagged there too all the time. I
Yeah.
say all the wrong stuff.
But I think like all of us, because we're up there in age. I mean, I feel like you see the constant. We've seen it with like MySpace was hot and then it went away.
Yeah.
What else? The Vine was huge.
Vine was big for a minute.
and then
Yeah.
which turned into like TikTok.
Well, first it was Musically.
Oh, Musically, yes.
Musically was what it was.
Another
That's why I didn't
platform.
want to get on TikTok at first. I was like, that's for kids. It's
Right.
Musically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
So
then it became TikTok and it just blew up.
yeah, but everything is fine. Everyone.
Oh, right. Jose.
Jose.
Jose Lopez knows his Pej. Nice.
Whatever questions you guys have right now, I'll have to answer for you later. I'll go live tomorrow or something.
So Pej is talking to his TikTok audience right now, live.
Like a true TikToker.
Yeah, like a real TikToker. Anyways, guys, Shane's not here. Jinx. Did you know I was going to say that?
No.
Oh.
This guy's looking suspicious. He needs to wave.
so sus.
Who?
Who?
Tell me who
Oh.
looks suspicious.
Sam B, can you wave and make sure that you're a real person? Yes.
Okay, Sam B's real.
Thank goodness.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to make.
Sam, we want to make sure you're not on Pornhub, XX, NX, none of that stuff.
It was
Hamster or whatever that one's called.
because now looking back at it, I could see
Me too.
that the
looked
guy.
weird.
It wasn't
a real person.
Oh, yeah. You know how they're like,
It was
so
very
it's
odd.
evident.
Yeah.
Well, let's get
obvious.
this party started, man. Super grateful that you guys all show up and attend. Super grateful to have Pej here. I've known Pej for a long time.
Wow.
He actually was working at a rehab that I went to. He was reminding me about it. Oh, he's like, but he was working at this rehab, and I guess they were like, yeah, we have an owner of a treatment center coming in to.
A real mess. A real shit show.
He can't
Coming
seem
in
to
hot.
stay sober himself.
But he owns treatment centers.
Yeah.
Pej is like, that seems weird.
Showed up suave and debonair. Didn't look like he was really kicking too hard.
Yeah, probably wasn't. Actually, I don't think I was. I had been in jail and got drug court.
Oh, so
yeah.
it was like court ordered.
Yeah.
It was a requirement of the court.
Yeah. I'm a real one too, though, guys. I just want to remind everybody that I am a real addict and alcoholic.
I think they know that by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know. They know you one of us.
Yep.
Part of
So
the
we'll get
crew.
this party started. I always do like to remind everybody, though, why the Hopeaholics podcast exists, because it's something I never, ever want to forget. I don't think that I ever possibly can forget. On 9/11 of 2022, I got a phone call from my daughter screaming, and she had found her fiance, Justin, dead from fentanyl. And I want to give you guys a little update on her. She finally broke down and needed to go do some trauma work on the death of Justin and finding him and all of that good stuff. She has been at this place in Kentucky for 3 weeks. She's almost done. She'll be done on Sunday and coming home. She stayed a little longer, and she said it's been absolutely amazing. And I'm excited to have my daughter back home.
Stoked.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, you know, and we, the part of this whole meeting is like, we recover out loud, and we like to tell the truth on what's happening in our lives, you know, and my daughter was really, really struggling, and we all struggle sometimes, whether we're clean or not, you know,
Or if we look like we got it together
or not.
or not.
You know, I've been going through it, been having rough go at stuff at life. You know, God, sometimes I feel like, you know, when you're really doing some good stuff,
Yeah.
the devil likes to try to throw wrenches in there to get you kicked off your path.
Always.
You know?
Always.
So, you know what, guys? I'm going to shut up. I'm going to introduce Pej. He's an amazing guy with some solid recovery. So you're up, Pej.
So do I just tell my story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can just
Like
tell
20
it to us
20
because your
minutes?
camera's right there.
Okay.
Yeah, your little timer's up there. Joel usually.
There it is.
There
You're
it
going.
is.
Your timer's up
Okay,
there.
well, here we go. So, again, my name is Pej. I am an alcoholic and an addict in recovery. I'm recovered from a seemingly hopeless way of living that was definitely a lot of trauma surrounded itself around that. I am Persian. I was born in Germany. I was raised in Salt Lake City, Utah for the first
Wow.
portion of my life. So I felt uncomfortable in my skin, especially like growing up in Utah.
Yeah, for sure.
Being a Persian Muslim kid,
like
and everybody
Mormon
there is
town.
like white, blonde haired, blue eye. I was always comparing my insides to other people's outsides and losing every time. My relationship with alcohol started at like 8 or 9. My dad was a rageaholic, but on the weekends he would drink with his friends alcoholically. So I got sips of alcohol like given to me here and there, little cognac, a little beer, nothing serious, just the taste, a little head change. But at 12 is where like my journey with substances started. So I remember when I was 12 years old, I was huffing gas during the summer when I would mow lawns. I don't even know how I got I got the idea because we were sniffing glue in class, but gas had more of a potency to it, right? And that didn't go very far. And then I would drink. I drank during that year, and I also smoked weed, and thus started my journey into substance abuse and substance use. And we moved to California when I was 15 years old. And I gravitated towards people. I went to Costa Mesa High School. I gravitated towards people that were having fun. 2 guys, they were already into doing cocaine, and then we started kind of rocking it up, and I became a crack addict pretty fast. When I was 17, I had a car accident. I was driving to school one morning. I was sober that morning, but I had partied the night before, so I was a little hungover, but I was driving with all my friends to school. We piled into this car. The music was blaring. We were just high school kids having high school fun. And as we got to this intersection, right before the intersection, there was this 14-year-old kid that darted out in the street on his bicycle, and I couldn't hit the brakes fast enough. And the kid's bicycle and body went over the hood of my car, and his body hit the windshield, and I couldn't see in front of me. And so the windshield shattered, and I crashed into this minivan, and this kid's body was flung over the minivan headfirst into the ground. And my whole world went into slow motion. I got out of the car, and I thought, did I just hit a human body? And then I thought, oh my, like I tasted blood trickling down from my forehead from the impact of the windshield. And I saw my friends in the car and they had blood all over their faces. I thought, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I went and looked around the side of the minivan on the ground. The kid was laying face down on the ground with blood gushing out the top of his head. And I thought, oh my God, I'm in big trouble. And the police came and the ambulance came and this ambulance whisked the kid off to the hospital. And the police took me down to the police station and they asked me all kinds of questions. They were shining the light in my eyes and testing me and all this stuff. And then they released me, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, for the next few days, I was on the edge of my seat because I heard that the kid was on life support, and the mom was contemplating to keep him alive because had she kept him alive, he would have been a complete vegetable for the remainder of his life because the impact of his head hitting that asphalt, he would have never been the same. So the mom decided to pull the plug after 4 days, and for a 17-year-old, like, how does a 17-year-old process something like that? It became an ultimate excuse for me to just engulf myself in alcohol and drugs, and that's exactly what I did. Now, as I grew up, I was somewhat of a very lost soul. Like in my young adulthood, there was a party scene. So if you knew Orange County, like in the 90s, there was this thing called Club Rubber. And Club Rubber was like an event. Like it was a full production. If you went there, like everybody partied a certain way. The live got restricted because I was talking about Club Rubber. Sorry. I didn't even talk about like the tape on the titties. Anyway, so we'd go to these clubs. I was a drug dealer. I was doing all this type of stuff, living a certain type of lifestyle. And it says 2 restrictions. Wow. Okay. And as I would live this lifestyle, I was always lost. Like my friends that saw me from the outside would say, Pej's got it going on because he hangs out with those girls and all the homies answer to him and he's distributing certain substances and he's got it going on. But like deep within the pit of my stomach, there was always this sense of impending doom. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me? And like in recovery, we talk about this God-sized hole and like, I never even knew, like, in the back of my head, I knew like that kid died and that was my fault. That's the way I thought about it. But I was numbing myself. Basically, I'm clear on the fact that I was filling the void within with drugs and alcohol. And that's just the way my life was going for a long time. By the time I was 30 years old, I was incarcerated again here in Orange County. I'd go to like, jail and just sleep for days and days because I never slept during the 90s for certain particular reasons. And so when I'd get incarcerated, I would just sleep a lot. And that's kind of where I first got introduced to recovery. Like when I was 17, somebody read the big book to us in there. It was on an AA panel. But when I was 30, I was then court ordered, judge ordered, attorney ordered to go to meetings. And so I'd go to these meetings and I'd just sit in the rooms with this contempt prior to investigation, highly egoic mentality. Like I just sit with my arms crossed and I was like, I'll never partake in this stuff. Like this is for them. They're all losers. Like everybody comes here to complain about how they can't use or drink. And so like I never really did recovery. And then by doing it my way, I learned how to work my way out of sober living during the time, work my way out of recovery. And by doing it my way, I worked my way right into a lifestyle that got me into more trouble and then homelessness. And by the time I was 35 years old, 36 years old, I was living out of my car as a homeless man. And my parents they were done with me, right? My mom she wouldn't even talk to me. She went to Al-Anon and started working on herself. And even like everyone backed away from me. Like even the person that I bought dope from was like, you're not well. Like you need help. Go get help. And so it was like a series of events that pushed me in the direction of seeking help, not knowing like how to go about, not knowing what like complete recovery consisted of, like being 100% sober. Because Pej's style of detoxing, I'll go on someone's couch and I'll quit doing meth, heroin, and cocaine. But like I can still smoke weed and drink. Like that's not my problem. I don't really know like what complete abstinence looks like. And so finally, like when I went and dried out on the homeboy's couch for a little while, just like there was some moments of clarity, some aha moments, things that happened. People said some things at the right time for me to hear them, to the point where it put me in the direction of doing what I feared the most, and that was to ask for help. And so what does every so-called gangster do when they run out of options? They call their mommy. And I called my mom, who was like a brown belt in Al-Anon, and conversation was a little bit different that time. Persian mothers usually like really nurture, and they really They don't want to think that their kid's messed up. They'll kind of just sweep the problem under the rug. But mom was different. Like, she was armed with the facts about herself in that program. And so she talked to me in a different tone. She told me I was dead to her, and that really hurt my feelings. And I told her it hurt my feelings, and she didn't care. Like, she knew she was up against a kid who was a disease had overtaken her kid. And she told me, like, a monster took you away from me when you were a teenager. You've been dead to me since then because you've just been doing drugs for all these years. And if you want help, she gave me a phone number. And so I called this number, and it was this guy that led me to this house that was being run by a guy who I went to his house 5 years before when I got out of jail, but I didn't stay. Now, this guy, when I knocked on his door 5 years before, I remember he answered the door, and he looked like a little Persian recovery Yoda. He even kind of sounded like Yoda. I remember he answered it with a Persian accent. He's like, "Hello, how are you doing? Welcome. This is sober living. We have rules. We have regulations. We have chores. We go to meetings." I'm like, riveting. Like, "What's your name?" He goes, "My name is Sia." I go, "Mr. Sia, no, with all due respect, I'm not staying at your house." And that was when I was 30. 36, 6 years later, show up at a front door of a whole different house, knock on the door because this dude told me to go there. And lo and behold, it was the little Persian recovery Yoda from 5 years before. I'm like, oh my God, I can't shake this guy. And so that dude was like a real one. And here's the things that, like, I really liked about him. For one, he was mainlining H for a long time, right? So, and he was homeless on the streets, and he was a bank robber that was a wingman that never got busted. So I was like, criminal, liked to do a lot of different type of substances, was homeless like me. I relate. I like this guy. And he was a person that had devoted and dedicated his life to helping people. And so it didn't take but very long for me to be in this dude's house. He was a real one. I mean, when I say a real one, he was a real one when he was out there, but he was a real one when he came in here. Mm-hmm. Like, he called it as he saw it, and it didn't bother him to hurt your feelings. Like, he would tell you stuff that even if it hurt your feelings, it was from a place of love, but like, he was assertive. And it was a type of recovery home that you couldn't leave cups out. You couldn't leave toilet seats up. You couldn't leave an ashtray full. This guy would give you writing assignments. And so there was a lot of learning, like, in that process. And then he'd have these groups, and he'd send us to 12-step meetings, something that I was absolutely opposed to. But if I was going to stay at his house, there was rules that I needed to follow. And that guy broke me down and built me up and encouraged me strongly, go to school. I'm like, "I don't do good in school, Sia." And he goes, "Listen, when you sit in these groups and you give people feedback, you're really good at telling them the truth. But the way that you give them feedback, you go straight for the throat, and you have no compassion. You have no empathy." I'm like, "What does empathy mean? Like, what does that even mean?" And he goes, "You should go to school and learn group facilitation, and maybe you can work in the field of addiction and alcoholism." And I'm like, "You don't understand. Like, when I went to school in high school, I was a 1.8 grade point average kid. I can't pay attention in class. And then I went to the Art Institute at 30. I'm an artist. And I was on so many drugs, like, loaded to the sky. I got walked off campus after being on academic probation twice by the dean of students. She said, "You don't belong here." She knew I was messed up, right? "So how now at 36, you want me to go back to school?" He goes, "You're sober now. You might actually be able to pay attention in class and perform." I go to school, I get a 4.0 grade point average. I'm like, whoa, I've never seen those numbers attached to me. Made the dean's list. All these great things happened. And I started working in the field of addiction. First, I worked at this place called Newport Academy with adolescents, really troubled kids that were between the ages of 12 and 17. I saw and heard things I'd never heard before. These youngsters coming in there like smoking pills. I'm like, why would you do something like that, right? But over a period of time, what I realized is I was having these little power struggles with these youngsters, thinking like they remind me of me. They're like little mini Peges, and I'm so frustrated that they're not getting their lives together that either they would love me, or at first we'd get along, and then we'd go at it. And then I started working in adult treatment with adults that acted like adolescents. And actually, the second treatment center I worked at was an adult center named Morningside, and that's where I saw Chad as a patient once for like a minute. But I continued to keep working in treatment, and I wore many hats. I became case manager, program director. I worked in admissions, all these. I did everything except for become a therapist. And then I Started opening some of my own homes in LA. I opened a place in Westwood and Bel Air, and they were highly structured homes that were very much designed like the home that I got sober in, and we were no nonsense. We still are. I have homes now in South Orange County. I love my homes. I have a men's house, a women's house. The people that come there are engulfed in the 12-step process. They have to have sponsors. They have to work steps. They have to make a meeting count. They got to do chores. They got to do double scrub. It's everything that I learned that worked for me, and we're doing it for them, and it's working for them. We have a high success rate and a low relapse rate. When people come in and they read the contract, they know what they're walking into. Like, it's not just some flop house where we're flipping mattresses. Like, you're either going to do what we're doing or this isn't the house for you. And if somebody doesn't agree with what we do, like, we don't try to stop them. Like, we're like, there's the door. Go do some more research and development. And often those types that are hard to deal with, or they don't really want to see this way of life, we'll hear from them again. Sometimes they overdose and die. Sometimes they will contact us and say, I'm homeless again, or it didn't work out, or may I come back? And then we work with them and we try to bring them back and show them a way. Now I'm an interventionist. I was trained under the best. I was trained by a guy named Earl Hightower, who is a world-renowned interventionist. He's helped countless people for decades. I was also trained under Ed Storty and Patty Pike. These are legends. I mean, to me, like, these are spiritual giants, people that truly have helped a lot of people. So now I'm Pej, the interventionist. That's why on my TikTok, on my YouTube, on all those different things, Pej Interventions is who I am. But there's a lot that comes with that package. Like, yes, I do get called to go nationally and internationally to go find troubled people, sometimes on the streets, sometimes in mansions, all suffering and struggling with addiction and alcoholism. And I'm called to go try to help these people understand that their lives aren't working for them, and what can we do to try to help them. And when I do an intervention, sometimes I'll then become their recovery coach. Sometimes I'll become a life coach. Some of them have no life skills. A lot of the people that come into our houses have no life skills. I mean, there's people that have never really, like, they don't brush their teeth. I'm like, bro, no wonder you're toothless and your breath is really bad. But let's try to get you to a dentist. Oh, you have Medi-Cal, we'll find you a dentist that'll take you.
Yeah.
And then there's people that don't know how to do their laundry, and there's people that don't know how to clean their bedding and things like that. So, like, I do a lot of life coaching, sober coaching for sure. When it comes to sober coaching, that's not a paid sponsor. Let's be clear here. I'm not charging people to take them through the 12 steps, but I'll definitely put them in the hands of a sponsor, and then I'll be like an accountability coach and make sure that they're being plugged into their community, right? So there's a lot of people also. I want to make sure that I'm following direction. I got 6 minutes and 52 seconds.
You got it.
So there's a lot of people that find me on TikTok, and I didn't know when I came into the TikTok space, like, what was going to happen. I also didn't realize how many, back for a while, you couldn't even get messages on TikTok, but then they opened up the floodgates, and, like, now I'm just getting, like, tons of messages. Sometimes they'd have to, like, go through TikTok, look for my phone number, send me messages, or go through my Instagram and all these other things. But so now I find myself talking to teenagers that are vaping, teenagers that are doing mushrooms, teenagers that are doing other types of substances. And then on top of that, they have questions. And, like, sometimes they're wondering if it's going to get out of hand. A lot of kids are wondering about THC cards and what's that going to do to you. There's kids with depersonalization, derealization, and that's happening. It's like the onset of psychosis. It's happening at a very young age for them because they are doing THC cards, which are highly potent. And so, like, that's what they're doing. And they're wondering, is this going to get out of hand? And, like, I'm not the type of guy that's going to condone that. I'm never going to tell a kid, sure, just keep doing it. You're going to be okay. No, I tell them, you should stop now. Your little brain is still developing. It won't stop developing until you're 30 years old. And anything that you put in your body, in your mind, is potentially, it's going to stunt your emotional and mental growth. What does that mean? It means that if you started when you were, let's say, 14 years old, and you continue to keep using any substances, by the time you're 25 years old, you still think like a 14-year-old. Like, your body might be a 25-year-old, but you're still, like, you don't know how to process your emotions and your feelings because you've been numb from all the substances you've been using, or the substance that you've been using over all these years. So I talk to youngsters. I talk to oldsters. I talk to kids that are 16 that are already dabbling with fentanyl. And I talk to 40-year-olds that are dabbling with fentanyl. I talk to 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds that are doing meth. Whenever I have that's a different conversation. It's like, hey, so wait a second here. You're doing meth at 50? Like, what do you think your ticker's going to, like, last? Like, you're definitely like a heart attack or a stroke or a brain aneurysm in the making. So I make videos about this stuff because this is the many populations I deal with, the many different types of people I see. One of my specialties is to try to get somebody that's in meth-induced psychosis to realize and understand, like, it's not real. No, the FBI's not watching you. Like a lot of, one time I went to Theo Lacey jail and I was underneath on the bottom bunk and I look up and somebody had engraved, just because they say you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. I'm like, see, they know, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that conversation is usually like, buddy, like, why do you think the CIA and the FBI are after you? Are you breaking federal laws? Like, the FBI doesn't even go after a lot of people that are breaking federal laws because they're small fish. Like, you got to really be on their radar for them to want to come and get you. So what makes you think you're so important? Or the people that say, like, they've got something was planted in their arm and it's like a chip, right? And I'm just like, you really think you're that important? Like, they really want to investigate you. Not to say like Meta doesn't do that or algorithms and things like that. They definitely capture that stuff. But when people are doing meth or even THC, a lot of THC psychosis, I'm witnessing a lot of that more than ever. Because let's be real, like it ain't like the weed that we used to have back in the day when we were growing up.
Yeah,
right?
not even close.
These days, it's like the concentrate. It's all the most potent forms of THC, which is there's certain people's chemicals like in their brains that cannot process that. For some, it's like a regular thing, but for some, they just can't do it. So my specialty right now is helping people with addiction, with alcoholism, with mental health. I do interventions on people with primary mental health sometimes. They're not easy cases.
Yeah.
They're not easy cases, and people will do anything they can to try to save their family member. I do a lot of family coaching. There's a lot of sick families. Often I find myself having to intervene on family members before I can even do an intervention on the individual, because family members it's really sick. Like, there's a lot of family members that want to keep their loved one sick because that's the only way they know how to deal with them, because they're codependent helicopter moms or helicopter dads, or they're just hovering and they constantly just want to keep, like, you should do this, you should do that. No, you should not dictate how I'm trying to help your kid, and you should actually back off and go work on yourself. Like, go read that book by Melody Beattie, Codependent No More, and like learn about yourself, because you're sick, and that's not good. But you got to say it like in a nice way so they don't fire you. But anyway, so like that's my forte. Like, that's who I am. Yeah, a lot of people say like your whole life is recovery. You're damn right. My whole life is recovery, because my whole life was drugs and alcohol for a long time, and I don't want to live that way anymore. Like this became my way of life, and between my homes that I have and all the interventions that I do and all the coaching that I do, it seems like there's never a dull moment, but it seems like a lot of people say, like, you're a really busy man. How do you manage it all? And I'll say this, like, there has to be self-care for myself that I have to pay attention to. I go to the gym. I do my best to keep the phone away from me unless I'm listening to music. But when I go on walks with my dogs, which are the love of my lives, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
When I go for my walks with my dogs, I make it a point to put the phone away, go to the dog park, or go to this huge park that's by my house, and just let them go free and interact with the dogs so they know that their owner is like cherishing the moments with them. These are my sweet spots. Or I go down to the beach alone sometimes. People don't believe that, but I will just go walk on the beach and just, feel the rhythm of the waves. Right. And so we're very blessed to be here in Southern California and be able to go to the beach whenever we want. I don't go enough, but I do. And then also coaching. Coaching is it's become my specialty because that's where I have the most spiritual experiences, when I'm seeing family members wake up to their reality, or when I'm seeing the individual that I'm working with change, even if they fall down and bruise their knees and relapse a few times and get back up and try to walk this path of recovery. When they actually like take direction and listen to what I'm trying to do for them, because I always tell them, I can't do it for you. I can't climb in your head and rewire stuff, but I can definitely tell you like what worked for me. And I would hope that you do it for yourself. And when they do it, then they go and move mountains and they become amazing people. And then, see, check this out. 13 seconds.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
A gauge,
Wow.
A gauge is just right. Any
You
questions?
wrapped it up in a bow.
Bro. Inspiring, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love the whole the whole engulfing your whole entire life into recovery, because that's what it is for me too.
Has to be.
And you know, I mean, like, not everybody has the same like jobs that we have, right? But like, God left me here on this planet
Yeah.
to help other people that suffer with the same thing that I suffer from. And it's this damn thing in between my ears.
Stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking. Your story is inspiring. I also want to say that I know Pej's Sober Livings, and they're the real deal. Like, people aren't going. It's not a flop house. It's not like, you know, you can stay if you pay. No, you can stay if you do the work.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, and it's truly like a testament to your own recovery, and then what you instill in your sober living homes for these other guys.
Yeah. I love it.
You know?
We don't mess around.
No,
They need to be in the book.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to be.
'Cause it works.
I mean,
It
we're,
does.
you know, Natalie and I are 12 steppers as well. And, you know, we know that there's other ways to recover too. But like, I love the spiritual principles of the 12 steps. I love the spiritual principles of the 12 traditions.
I love them too.
Me too.
If the whole world worked a 12-step program, we might have world
Preach,
world
brother.
peace, right?
I say it all the time. Normies can benefit from walking the 12 steps.
Absolutely.
Just from taking a mere, like, you're looking at yourself, taking
Yeah.
self-accountability, making amends when you're wrong, not worrying about the other guy.
Exactly.
Like, being of service. 12
Cleaning
step.
up your wreckage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, it's
And
it's
only
beautiful.
worrying about your side of the street.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know how many people, like, they might have a clean, or at least appear to have a clean side of their street,
Yeah.
but they're still like over there, like, hey,
There's dirt.
there's dirt over there on your sidewalk. Yeah, because I don't have to worry about that, about
right.
their dirt, because my dirt's clean.
That's
Look
right.
at that really cute bunny on.
Oh, Donna's in the house, too. My
the
mom
screen.
and Donna. Shout
Yeah,
out to them.
you
That's
guys,
our family.
no porn on the screen tonight.
Yep.
It's like so many.
My mom's in here, so,
Where's your
like,
mom?
keep it classy.
Yeah,
She's
and
done
my
on my-
wife's in here, and she's never seen porn before.
You're gonna make them want to do it.
Yeah. Chad, Donna,
Emily's yelling.
Chad keeps talking about it and
You're going
saying
to
the
tempt
word.
somebody to like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I'm going to really throw a wrench in this.
Oh, how cute.
Emily.
Donna just put it in the chat. I don't even think my mom can see that, Donna, because, you know, the fact
Yeah,
that
no
she-
more
the
weird
fact that
shit
she
Donna
even
put.
turned on a video and we can see her. I'm impressed.
Where
with
is
her
your
tech.
mom?
She's right there underneath my dad's name, Frederick Nelson. She's
the
waving.
one waving right
Ah.
below Matt.
Yeah.
That guy Matt.
But you know what I loved about your story,
Yes.
and like what you touched on tonight, and why I love Recover Out Loud is because this meeting welcomes everybody.
Yeah.
And like obviously my mom's in this meeting tonight, just listening because you know she supports everything I do. Love you, Mom and Dad. I know he's listening as well, but you know they're normies. They
Yeah.
don't have the disease, but however. It's really important because family need an outlet. Family need to come and learn about the disease, what it is.
Yeah.
Like it has nothing to do with anything to do with them. It's like it's a disease like cancer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and your child or your spouse or your loved one has it. So what do we do?
Right.
And so I think that's wonderful because we've seen it too with like people go to treatment and once they get out, you know, they're trying to live a better life by learning, you know, going through the 12 steps or however they're doing
Whatever
it,
they do.
and they fall into like, you know,
Back into the
back-
same this pattern with the families. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, that's
It's
why I often say if somebody's like getting out of treatment and they go right back to like their home,
same environment.
it's like the lion's den.
Yeah.
Like that's where you used to get down and do your thing back,
Yeah.
like in your bedroom. Why
Yeah.
would you go there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I
All
love
right,
it.
we got some hands
So good.
raised. Only 2 so far.
Okay.
Tell people that they have to wave at us so that we know.
Oh, Emily's like super
Matt.
paranoid.
That's Matt. So we know Matt for sure is real.
Emily is like holding it down extra tight because last week really gave her some massive.
You guys have to
She's gonna be in
understand on our
therapy, man.
screen, this stuff was jumping around, and Emily's over here
Having
you
a heart
know,
attack, sweating.
And guys, she's only like 23 years old. She ain't seen that. She,
I'm 16. So it's actually illegal for them to do it.
sorry.
Poor Emily got traumatized.
yeah, she did. She really did.
Anyway, what's up, family? My name's Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Grateful recovering addict. You have to excuse the raspiness in the voice, a little bit under the weather, but it's all good, man. Pej, man, that was an awesome share, brother. Real awesome.
Thank you.
I've been on the Hopeaholics quite some time now, and that's definitely up there with some of the best. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
And I agree, man, with and go for my life and recovery, because I did the same thing, engulfed it in doing everything I could to stay high, man, for 28 years. And I've only been sober coming on um, let's see, Friday I'll be 1,000 days sober.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah, yeah.
hell yeah. So I've got a lot of years to make up for sure. So so I'm gonna keep staying in recovery, because not only is it helping other people, saving other lives, man, but it keeps me sober as well.
I love that.
And and that's important, and I gotta stay sober. I got not only just for myself, but I got too many people counting on me, way too many people counting on me, and to be able to look myself in the eyes in the mirror every morning and tell myself that I love me, that's an amazing, amazing feeling, and it really is. And helping others in recovery helps me stay grounded, man. It really does, because when I see somebody who's relapsed or still active in whatever manner, it brings back all the memories real quick. And just as soon as I start getting comfortable with, like, maybe just for a moment forgetting how it used to be, I get reminded real fast, real fast. So being part of the community and giving back is mandatory, daily. Make sure I keep myself available at all times.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. But I'm on TikTok, man, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and check you out, man. I haven't been over to your spot yet, so
What is it, Pej?
It's PEJ, P like Peter, E like Edward, J like Jonathan, interventions, Pej interventions.
Yeah, I need to
all
do
right,
that.
that's what's up, man.
I'm doing
I'll
the
go
same.
ahead and check you out, man.
Me
I
too.
got a couple of videos up there for mental health support and recovery support.
Send me a
and stuff,
message so
too.
that I can follow you. I don't follow a lot of people, but I'll follow special,
You'll follow.
All right,
special people.
I got you, man. Definitely appreciate that. But man, that's it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here, yo. I'm probably gonna dip out, everybody, because I want to go ahead and get some rest. But I'm gonna go ahead and listen to my homegirl speak real quick. But other than that, love you guys, man.
Love you too.
Love you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Ashley, is that who's
Ashley.
next?
Yes.
Should we make Ashley wave? You got to wave first, Ashley.
There you
Okay,
go.
you're real.
Yes.
Just playing.
I'm all which wave, the reaction wave or real life one? What's up, guys? Actually, grateful recovering former shit show.
Ashley.
I'm really grateful that I have immersed myself in recovery to the point I have. I had to let it engulf me. I was blessed with the court shoving my butt in the rooms, thank God. And it was to hopefully get my son back, and it took me a minute to get the hang of it. And by the grace of God, on the 15th, I closed out a almost 2-year-long CPS case.
Wow.
And
Nice.
I've got my son home again.
That
I
a
get to be
baby.
a full-time mom again.
Nice.
Granted,
Get it,
he's with his
girl.
dad right now because we share custody, but both of us turned ourselves around. His dad's been clean a little bit longer than I have now. And so my son got both
I'm
his
so
parents
proud
back.
of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Thank you.
huge.
Good job.
And it's great. And I called my mom after court, and she was like, cool, that means when I come see you, we can drink, right? And I was like, no, red light. I love you to death. That means I can't visit you for quite a while.
Yeah.
And she got a little upset and a little taken aback, and that's okay. She could be upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know where my priorities now. And I know that I can't, not just that I can't do that anymore, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, and it's an amazing difference of not wanting to, because I still had it in the back of my head, like, oh, when all this is said and done, I might be able to, FAFO. And then at some point that went away. And I don't know exactly when that part disappeared, but it did. And I'm really glad it did, because like the look on my kids' face. The other night I got to go just play on the trampoline with him and look through the telescope and sit there and goof off and do stuff that before would have been so, I would have thought it was pointless and time consuming. And don't you know all the other shit I could be doing? But no, that made his night, and it made mine too, because I was like, damn. And not trying to ramble or nothing, but if you're new in here and if you haven't already kind of got the point, people like this are awesome, and this life can be amazing too. You got to give it a shot. You got to stick it out, and you got to fucking hold on to it. And the most important thing I think is don't give up on yourself.
Never give
And if
up.
you got reservations, tell on yourself, because it works. I tell on
Amen.
myself to Matt all the time.
Nice.
Love that.
But I love you guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ashley.
Ashley.
Good job.
I love that so much that she shared that, because I think a lot of women, or at least meetings that I go to, you know, you hear certain same situations kind of walking through.
Yeah.
And thinking, because when you're in the thick of something, especially when a child's involved and it's yours,
Yes.
you seem that you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you hear something beautiful like Ashley, you know, that's hope. That's what it's all about. You know, when you stick with it and you stay in the grind and you keep putting one foot in front of the other and stay the course, like my dad loves that phrase and it has stuck with me since I was a kid, stay the course.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
Absolutely.
And now she's able to
Have
have
her
that
kid.
100%.
And sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
And
long as you what?
You can't
work.
You can't compare what's happening in somebody else's life
Right.
to yours. Because I know so many guys that lost their children and then didn't see them through their whole drug addiction.
Right.
And then got sober, and it was 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And now they're best friends with their sons or their daughters.
I see it all the time.
You know?
I think it's
Totally.
wonderful.
yeah. Stay the course. I like that.
Chuck.
Oh,
God.
Zamzow.
Thank God we only have Chad doing the sound effects and not Chad and Shane tonight for you, Chuck. But, you know. how they
Good
do.
Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lord. You guys trip me out, man. Oh, man. You'll be able to say that when I come out there here in March.
Yes. Yes, Chuck.
Bro.
Come on, Chuck.
So
we're partying.
man.
I mean, it's sober kind of.
Not like he did in the 90s, man. When he started talking about the 90s, that brought me back some memories there, man. That was a big blur, too. Not in the effect of where it was at, or how he described, but it was a blur. But, man, I really like, man, what is this YouTube? He said he had a YouTube channel.
So my YouTube, here's the deal. So it's Pej Interventions at this
Okay.
time. I have a podcast that was called Pej's Recovery Corner, which was embedded. It was embedded within the Pej Interventions YouTube. And then I come to
Okay.
find out my viewership started decreasing because I do a lot of educational videos and things like that, but also all the guests that I would have on. If we put in the title the word addiction or recovery, there's like I have this new producer that gave me a list of stuff that if you put it in the titles, it gives you less viewership because you get age restricted, which then people don't see your
Right.
stuff. So now my new podcast is going to launch next week through my producer, he's amazing. You got to meet this guy. Anyway, it'll be called Primary Purpose because the other one was called Pej's Recovery Corner.
Right.
Recovery is in the title
Yeah.
of the podcast, was getting me flagged, which is absolute crap. And I don't know why YouTube is like that, but I get it. Kids,
Right.
whatever. So now Primary Purpose with Pej will be launching next week. And I'm gonna have them on.
Yeah.
For sure. But we're
Right
going to
on.
have all kinds of amazing guests. And now that opens it up to not just people in recovery,
Yeah.
but like a broader audience. I want to get deep thinkers,
Sure.
people from different schools of thought, spiritual teachers, doctors, all this stuff. But Primary Purpose with Pej will be launched next week. But you can find me on Pej Interventions before we start purging, because now I'm not getting monetized on lots of my videos. You can go and check out some of the stuff that I do on the streets as far as helping a lot of homeless people, Skid Row, MacArthur Park, across the country, Alabama, all these different places, and kind of see what I do in my day-to-day. Never a dull moment.
I like it.
Right on. Right on.
Thank you.
Real quick, because I'm not going to hold people up tonight, because I want to hear what everybody else has got to say, because, I'm not important.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
are.
Yeah, you
terminally
are,
unique
Chuck.
like I used to be.
I know.
I used to be terminally unique until I put my ass in a chair when I got back into the meetings in '08 and kept my seat there for quite a long time. But I really enjoyed how you talked in I language. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that talking from your experience to the newcomer or somebody that's getting in recovery and saying what's working with you and how you got from point A to point B, not in big steps, but in baby steps at times too. It's got to be that, at least for me, it was baby steps. And then sometimes I go back to those baby steps just to keep it simple
Yeah.
for my recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like those guys that were straightforward, and I like how you talked on that. That's straightforward, no holding no punches back. I still love you, but hey, man, you messed up. Let's get this right,
Yeah.
and let's do the work, because that's what it's about for this guy too. Is do the work, and the things will happen in the end. And change was a big thing. Change was scary.
Yeah.
And sometimes change can be scary today. I signed up for a HIT class and I haven't done one in 11 years. And I was like contemplating backing out. And I'm like, well, dude, you signed your name on the paper. Just get it done, bro. Come on. Just get in there, get it done. And I did it tonight. And just like when I come to a meeting or go do stuff like that in the gym and self-care you talked about, I'll touch on that real quick. Self-care is important. If I don't do that, then I'm going to go back to old habits, old ways, old stuff. And it could happen really easily.
Very easily.
And, man, and you talked about walking the dogs. Dog spelled backwards is God.
God.
Got it.
And,
Yep.
Yeah, and I've been hearing that a lot lately. So, man, straight up great stuff, man. Love it. That's all I got.
That a boy,
Nice,
Chuck.
Chuck. I quoted you, Chuck, on my my vlog the other day. I literally said that quote. I said Chuck Zamzow always says God spelled backward is dog.
That's right.
Or dog, whatever I said. I said dog spelled backward is
It's God.
because I was talking about my dog, Teddy.
Teddy.
Oh, you have a dog too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
and-
name's Teddy.
My parents have a little dog named Teddy, so it's like hilarious to me because Teddy is huge, his dog, and then my parents' dog is.
He's a Samoyed,
Ooh.
all white.
You'll have to show me a picture.
Yeah. Lessons to blessings. Are you real? No, I'm just kidding. Yep.
He's real.
There we go. Easy.
How's it going, guys?
Really
Good. How are you, man?
I'm Jay. I'm in recovery.
Hi, Jay.
Nice.
Oh, it's blessed to be. It's my first time ever coming on here.
Oh, welcome. Glad you're here.
Yeah. Hailing all the way from North Dakota, so it's very
Yes.
cold up. It's minus 25 right now.
Oh
so.
my! Are you
Ooh.
kidding me right now? Your boogers are freeze.
You gotta be born and raised in this cold.
Oh, I lived in Utah. It never got that cold, but it got cold. That is crazy
Yeah,
cold.
that's cold.
Minus 25. That's frostbite.
Nah, but I love what he was sharing because I can actually relate to what he was talking about, Pez, when you were talking about how you got to get your mindset right, because the drugs that we indulged in, they kind of messed up our thinking.
Yeah.
And along with the thinking part, they messed up our body.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was like that for me because I had this little slogan. I went from junkie to chunky.
I put down the spoon and picked up the fork.
Yeah. So then I switched it around. Then I made it to lessons to blessings.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
You know what I mean?
like that.
Because it was just for me. Because right now I only have like about a year and some change.
Nice.
You know what I
job.
mean? And me being like about going on 3 years out of federal prison off a 9-year bid, it was changing to come out into the world and to try to handle addictions. I wish I could say, and I wish I was blessed to say, oh, I was clean in prison, but I wasn't. I seen more drugs in prison than I seen on the streets.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very difficult for me when I had to get back into the transition system of coming out of prison and dealing with the addiction and trying to find those people to like help me. Then I understood that nobody ain't coming to help me. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to hold my hand and say it's going to be all right. It was me that pushed me through and my higher power. And that was the biggest blessing in the world. Then I started understanding that those biggest blessings in the world was waking up every morning, getting to breathe, getting to move around and walk. You know what I mean? I started following my culture. You know what I mean? I'm Lakota, Punk Papa. You know what I mean? So following my native traditions was big for me. Getting a deep root into those and going to ceremonies, going into a sweat lodge. Because I know that Hopeaholics, they had a native on there earlier with Well Brady.
Yep.
And I watched him and I was like, man, I commented on there and everything. I was like, man, that's a good share. I like that. I spaced out his name, but he was a good share. His story brings some hope to me. You know what I mean? To understand that there was another person out there like that. Because where I'm from, there's not very many people like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't search for the bad things in anybody. I just try to search the good in everybody and try to just, you know what I mean? Try to follow my heart and stay on this path of recovery. Not easy, but it's kind of hard, but I've been through worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm blessed for you guys for letting me share. You know what I mean? It means a lot to me and actually being a part of this for the first time. You know what I mean? And finding this. Because I see your guys' reels all the time. And I'm like, dang, that's a beautiful thing. Let me try to check that out one time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Glad you came, bro.
Yes.
Like
Lessons for lessons. I like that
and
name.
glad you shared on your
Totally.
on your first time, and we hope you keep coming back. We really
Every
appreciate
Tuesday
it.
night,
Every
6
Tuesday
p.m., we're
night,
here.
6 p.m. I don't know what time it is there, but
Oh, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock right now. So.
nice. We are down here in Southern California, and we're freezing because it's 68 degrees outside
Ooh.
right now,
Which is like insane.
In the mornings, it's like 43.
I
I'm like,
know.
oh.
and we're like
I
complaining,
need to
dude.
put my
Unbelievable. I
beanie
know,
on.
totally.
I see another person. They're like, "Oh man, I'm shivering at
Rachel.
Rachel, -7 wind chill."
Yeah, basically.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. I have to actually go to Chicago in a couple of days. I was there a few weeks ago, and it's like, why do people live here?
I know, it's frozen.
I'm telling you, this is the thing. You got to get up at like 2 in the morning just to start your car and let it run.
Yeah,
for about-
exactly, to warm it up
Yeah,
and
I mean,
scrape all the ice off.
I will tell you though, Shane lives right. Shane's from right above you, so you know our other host Shane. He is from Winnipeg, so he actually understands you're kind of cold.
That's a different
Yeah.
type of cold, man.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's like Winnipeg's only like about a good hour away from me.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
It is
Outside the border,
crazy.
yeah.
That actually
Yeah.
is really crazy.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys for letting me share. You know what I mean? And I want to leave people with this: is that if you're struggling, just trust the process.
Amen
Don't
to
give
that.
up. You're not alone. There's a lot of people out there that do care about you and want to see you do better.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Trust the process. Believe in yourself. Find that warrior spirit. You look in the mirror every day. You look in the mirror every day and you see him.
Mm-hmm.
Or you see her. Pick yourself up because we fighting this addiction together.
That's right.
There's a lot of people in that same spot. And it doesn't matter what town or city or state you from. There's a meeting with a chair open for you.
I love
Awesome,
that.
beautiful.
I love that.
Blessed, man. It's blessed.
Thank you.
You're not lucky.
Amazing. So true.
How look at all these people living in the cold.
I know. I'm never gonna complain about it being cold in the morning here again.
Never.
My wife doesn't.
Who do we think we are?
My wife doesn't use the heater, and like it'll be literally be like 48 degrees in my house, and I'm like in a hoodie, sweat.
We just had a freeze in Texas, and I'm glad that I missed it.
Boy.
But it wasn't negative 25.
Here goes Joe B. He's
Joe B.
He's living in New York.
Italian
No.
stallion.
It's cold in New York too.
How cold is it?
It's not -30 degrees. You guys are psychopaths living in that weather. I don't know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like 8 degrees here, and I'm ready to leave. Literally, just hop on a plane. I can't do it. I need palm trees. But it is what it is. What's going on with you guys? Everyone good? You guys said some good stuff. You know what I'm actually conflicted with right now
What's that?
is I'm conflicted. I went to a promises meeting yesterday. I think it was the 7th promise. Self-seeking will slip away, right? And as much as I like helping others, I do. I get a lot out of it. And you chose that as a career, and Chad and Natalie as well. I'm struggling with the slipping away of self-seeking. I'm ambitious. I don't see anything wrong with ambition.
There's nothing wrong with
You
that.
know? Right? So I'm trying to. It sounds selfish, but I feel like I have to be a little selfish. I'm trying to establish myself first. You know, I want success. I want respect. I want power. I want love. I want all these things. And I feel like it's wrong to want these things at times, not all the time, but at time I feel like it's wrong to want these things. And I don't want to feel that way because it's stopping me. It's stopping me from actually going the extra mile, you know? Like just, I almost get not confused, but like, you know, the serenity prayer, right? Accept the things I cannot change. Some things I can change, you know, and I need to know which things I could change and how to change it. And then I got to question, is this even what's right for me? Is this what God wants for me? When do I quit? If I quit,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm questioning a lot of these things right now, and I just don't have it in me to stop, to quit any of the things I'm trying to get, you know. But I'm wondering if it's wrong.
Can I tell you
It- I-
something? May I say something to you?
Yeah, please.
All right. So I understand that. I get that. I think we as humans, you know, the human condition, like with the way that we think, especially when we get into recovery, why wouldn't we want to succeed and have success and power to a certain extent, since now we have a different type of power to live through? For me personally, what I have to ask myself, what are my intentions? Like when I'm helping people, am I doing that to stroke my ego? Is it for validation, for recognition? Like, hey, everybody, look at me. I just fed the homeless. Do I do that to show people that, or am I doing it out of the kindness of my heart? If I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart, then I don't need to show it off or let people know, or come home and tell my girlfriend, hey, I helped all these people today. So I believe if we distinguish the ego from the soul, right, and we realize, what are we nurturing? Are we trying to nurture our ego by doing things to gain that power, or are we doing it through our soul? Another thing is, there's a difference in third dimensional living and fourth dimensional living. Like third dimensional living is the world of matter, things that the shiny stuff that's going to make us, that we think makes us feel really good. It can be anything from money to food to sex to drugs to alcohol, all that stuff. But the realm of spirit, that's that fourth dimension. In the 12-step world, they call it, they say we catapulted it or rocketed into this fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is the world of spirit. So if we're in the world, in this realm of spirit, and we truly are doing it from the kindness of our heart, we're already rich. We're already like living that good life. So if you've got good intentions and you want to gain success through your good intentions, you're golden, bro. Like you're going to be good. The fact that you're staying sober, you're safer. The streets around you are safer because you're sober. Now go out there and kill it in the world like the rest of us do. Like I'll support you.
I appreciate that. I was thinking the same thing, right? My motives are pure.
Yeah, good.
Right?
That's what
I
counts.
want to do it for the right reason. But sometimes I'm putting them above myself, you know? And
I
that's
get
the
that.
problem I'm having. You know, sometimes it's like, all right, I have so much going on during the day, and then I'll get a call and it's from the same guy who really doesn't want help. He just wants like the magic fix, which I can't give him. But I feel bad not taking the call.
Well, you know
know?
what? So they even say it in the big book, like why waste time with somebody that doesn't want it, because you're then neglecting a person that might want it. Just let that person go and do some controlled drinking. I don't want to say controlled fentanyl use, but
here's the problem with that. I was him. And I've called so many people over and over again until it finally stuck.
Exactly. So you know what? I wouldn't stop taking his calls then, but
Right,
I wouldn't
that's-
waste too much
that's-
energy on him either.
Okay, see, that's what I mean. I got to find that balance, right? I can't just abandon him, but at the same time, I need to ask him the tough questions too. Be a little firm, but gentle, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? It sounds like you got heart, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, I do, bro. I do. I definitely do, man.
That's
this place saved my life, and I don't want to abandon the fellowship itself because it saved me. I want to do everything for the fellowship and the people in the fellowship. But you know,
my type of guy. I would kick it with you if I came to New York, Joe.
Yeah, but it's too cold. Let's go to Cali.
Yeah,
come to Cali.
Let's do palm trees.
We're trying to get y'all. We've invited every single person on this Zoom. You guys are all welcome to come to California.
Chuck invited me too, but I have my anniversary is actually the 13th of March.
Oh, nice.
But I got to go to court that day, and I don't think I can reschedule it, so I might not be able.
You
to
can get on the plane. I think there's a red eye out of
that night. I was thinking about it. That night,
yep. And our Recover Out Loud meeting's not until 6 p.m. So 9 p.m. your time.
He's putting that pressure on you, Joe.
I'm just but
I do want to go, but listen, I could probably leave right after court's in the morning.
Yep.
Hop out, fly over there, stay for a couple of days. You guys got meetings every day? Because I'm going to need a meeting every day.
All right, we're in Cali, baby.
Bro,
there's a meeting
we got
like every minute.
every hour.
It's insane.
Good.
But Joe, I wanted to touch on what you're saying, just because there's so many people in this program, right? And so even the way that I sponsor, like the women in my sponsorship line, is quite harsh. But it's because I prayed about it and I made a deal with myself and my higher power with how I wanted to do my sponsorship that I was good with, because everybody has different things going on in their life and they're busy, and you number one is your sobriety, right? So like as long as you communicate to this individual where you're at, because trust me, you're dealing with the best manipulators around and liars, because I was one of them. So it's like, if he's not going to respect your time and how you're running it, then why would you want to waste your energy? Because clearly it affects you greatly. So it's like you having to let those people know that, you know, like I give my girls 2 to 3 shots. If you're there, if you're going to show up, cool. If you're not, go out there and do some more development and keep it pushing, because that's just how we do. And that's how treatment is too. Like every center is going to be different. You got to find the individual has to be willing themselves. We can't save every single person out there, as we all
save
know.
them all.
Nope. No one, we have to do the work. No one else can. Same with like our parents or loved ones. They can't do the work for us, or else my mom would have done it when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So it's like, we have to be responsible and be the ones putting in that work. So it's like, don't be so hard on yourself. Pray about it and just tell the truth to whoever you're working with.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel bad giving him 2-3 shots, but I have to.
Why? He doesn't feel bad wasting your time.
Because no, you're right. Listen, you're 100% right.
Or else he's going to keep wasting your time.
We cannot cater to their disease.
Yes.
I don't want to lose them.
Oh, Chuck said it right there. I can carry the message,
but I can't
carry the alcoholic.
That's right.
Because that boat is going to get real heavy, and then you're going to be able to, and then you're going to start sinking. So that's
what my sponsor told me.
Yeah, because you end up doing doing so much work,
and look at how much it's like weighing on your head.
And they take it. You're like a sponge, right?
Yep.
And they take all of the fluid out of you, and next thing you know, you're just this dry.
And you're upset and you're miserable. So it's just like, you just got to find that what you're good with.
That's you're beaten.
And pray about it.
You're beaten.
Yep.
That's how I felt at the time. But yeah, no, this is all good advice. It's a reminder. I hear it, but I forget, But I'm glad I spoke on it today.
Yeah,
appreciate
me too.
You guys helping me too.
And I will tell you guys, there's nothing wrong with success in recovery. I mean, sometimes I want to go out and buy a Lamborghini or something stupid like that, but I tried that one before and it didn't end well.
I know you did.
But you know what? We can't keep it unless we give it away.
That's right. Jesse's
real.
Bring us on. Oh, I was gonna say bring us on home, but Crystal, you made it in there.
Crystal B
will be our last one. So Jesse, you're
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
I'm an addict that identifies as an alcoholic.
I love that.
Me too.
Yeah. Man, what a great story. What a great share. I'm definitely gonna go follow you on TikTok, man, and all the platforms. Better follow me back though.
I will. Send me a message because Matt just did, and I followed him right back.
All right, yeah, I will.
And I love that you're rocking with a baby.
I know, right? Every week.
Baby monitor.
I love it.
And baby here. So, but man, the part that really stuck out to me, I even had to write it down, is I've heard this before, so many different places, so many different people, that we stop emotionally maturing when we started doing drugs. And for some reason, I don't know why, it finally clicked today when you said it. And I had to write it down. I'm planning on journaling about it because it just kind of blew my mind. I've been going to therapy. I started it and started getting really serious about it because AA is just, sometimes not enough. And I started going to therapy, and I realized why I'm having such a hard time regulating my emotions. I mean, I started doing drugs. I think my first drink, it's hard for me to remember. I think it was at 8, And then when I was 12 is when I started smoking weed, and it just took off from there, substance every single day until I was 27. So it's no wonder that I can't regulate my emotions right now. And it just kind of helped give me some insight and clarity, and be it gave me a little bit of, I want to say closure, but it's how that, what you said, man, it helps so much because now it's easier to give myself a little bit of grace when I'm acting like my toddler who I'm struggling to parent because he's being a little shit. And then I respond like another toddler that wants to act like a little shit, you know? So it's been a journey. But I mean AA opened up so many doors for me. And I mean this podcast, this this meeting, it's been amazing. Like I nothing but love for you guys, man. Nothing but love. And I'm gonna end with this because this is something that I really love hearing. I heard it at a sober workout community, the Phoenix, and she would always end with this: "There's no one right way to recover. So whatever you're doing, just keep fucking doing it."
Nice.
Love it.
Love that.
Me too.
I
feel like that's just like life in general.
bro.
There's no one way to do anything in this life.
I started using drugs when I was 13, and I just want to tell you guys, I still really haven't matured from being a 13-year-old boy, and I'm like 51. And I don't know how regular 51-year-old men think, but I don't think I want to think like them because I like this fucking 13.
That's right. Got to
Yeah.
keep
This-
recapturing
this-
your youth.
This 13-year-old,
Act
because
like a
like,
13
bro,
See how
the
that
shit
works
that
out for
pops
you.
up in the stuff that pops in my brain, I'm like, this is so funny. Anyways, it is what it is. Crystal B, should we?
Oh wait, actually,
Okay.
this will be
You got it. You got it. There. There
you're
we
real.
go.
Okay, yay. We didn't want to be the last. Okay, there we go. You're bringing us on out.
Thanks, Crystal.
Bringing us home.
Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm an alcoholic. I've been to your podcast a lot of times, and I think this is only the second time I've shared. But I enjoyed your share, Pej, because
Thank you.
I started out in Pomona and then Pico Rivera, and then finally did junior high and high school in North Orange County, and did not fit in. My dad's white, my mom's Mexican, so I was just always stuck between cultures, and then it's very divided. Back in the 80s and 90s, well, for me it would have been the 90s, it was really divided, there were like the Mexican kids, there was a white kid. I just didn't fit in anywhere. And so I had my first drunk at 13 with high school kids. So I related a lot to your story about just not filling in and then ending up in the wrong crowds, because that's where it started. And then I realized something when you were talking, that the way you run your sober living, it seems harsh from the outside until you are an alcoholic and you realize that we all kind of need a little bit of structure.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing that we learn first as we're like babies becoming adults and teenagers is the trust versus mistrust.
Mm-hmm.
And we get it right in the beginning when our parents feed us and we don't die. Great. But then somewhere along the way, like, we somehow reverse and just stop trusting everyone. We stop trusting our parents and our friends. And then, for me, I ended up getting in trouble with the nursing board. And now I didn't think I was an alcoholic until I met a bunch of people who had the exact same story as me. And then realized, oh my gosh, I'm not just, all of us can be alcoholics and all of us can understand each other. And the first time I actually felt trust with another human being and felt safe talking to people, because you're not supposed to be a nurse who's got a problem, the problem, you can control it. Well, it's nice to be able to tell people, and talk to people like you and share with you guys, like, I do have a problem and I am not ashamed of it anymore. And I'm actually so much better off knowing that I have that and it doesn't have me anymore, because I have a higher power and people who I can share with, and I have trust again. And I wanted to say thank you. I hope that makes sense.
That made sense.
I think the best thing I got out of your story is, like, being honest with yourself and being honest that, like, you can recover, you can talk to people about it, and you can be successful. I'm hoping it makes some changes for, like, nurses like me, especially in California, because it's just so hard to hold your head up and tell people your story. And look at you're an interventionist who's able to share your story, and it just gives me hope that I'll be able to get through the nursing board system and go back to work again.
I believe in you.
Oh, Crystal, I love what you just shared, because our guy, he's not in. I don't see him in our Zoom tonight, but normally he is on weekly as well, and he shares kind of a similar story because he's a paramedic. And so he is very open and honest about, feeling ashamed of speaking about it in the medical field. So good on you, and everything's going to work out just fine. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, I'm super excited about a podcast we have coming up. We have a guest coming on who was a physician. He did end up going to jail. I don't want to tell all of his story, but it's going to be really good. I'll let you guys know when it comes out.
Wow.
Because you know why? Because this disease does not discriminate.
Not
so just because you're a doctor or a lawyer
doesn't care.
Or a housewife or a kid, it doesn't matter. It's coming for you, and if it has you,
it'll get you.
It'll get you.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, turn on your cameras. Turn on your cameras, because y'all know, but Pej doesn't know that we are the only Zoom meeting that dances out every week.
He doesn't know this for facts, but
okay, here we go.
Have it.
Has everybody got their cameras on?
I see you, Charlie.
All
Love
right.
you, Mom.
All
Love
right.
you, Donna.
I guess that's about Donna's not on there.
Oh.
All right, guys, hands up in the air. Hands up in the air. Let's go. Let's go.
My mom's doing it. God,
grant me the serenity
to accept things I cannot change.
The courage to change the things I can.
And
the wisdom to know the difference.
Why'd you want to leave me hanging like that?
Love
Love you guys.
Love you guys. See you all next week.
Thank you guys.
Success.